Welcome back to my flight sim series. Long time didn't fly, so thought about it. And with the help of Gunthrek and its campaign brought me into learning DCS and flying the FA-18 Hornet. Now I'm profiting that I didn't fly for about 2 months or more, and I want to begin it again, to get familiar with it, to do it right with the highest scores possible. So if you're a new player or like me, someone who didn't play in a while and you need refreshing or freshening up your flight skills, I invite you to join me. You will have in the video description the link for Guntrek's campaign, and I will put in there also where to copy it after you download it, if you do not know that, because I didn't know at the time I did it first. So here we go. By the way, I'm Vince, if you didn't see me till now, and I like to play simulators, racing simulators, flight simulators, space simulators, everything what is a serious simulator. I don't like to play drug simulators. As we all know, there are also drug simulators on the web. Yeah, so this is it, Gunthrek Academy with the Bagel fix pack. This is something new. Bagel came in and developed some fixes and additional files to Guntrek's Academy. Everything is for free. Thank you, Gunthrek, thank you so much. And here we are. This all credits goes to Gunthrek. You will find also a link to his channel too on the video description. So beginning exactly at the beginning with the navigation. This will be a little bit boring if you know a lot about flying, but if you don't, yeah, so this is it as always. I love to reach those 500 mega subscribers, which I don't have yet, because I think I have 476 or 5, something like that. Anyway, I thank you so much for that too. And back to it, always when you do something, read the mission briefing. It's very important. There are important things listed in the briefing. We all know that here we can find radio frequencies and airfields, and of course the mission instructions. This is a very cold start, so it's not much about it. You have the welcome message, let's get started, and objective: follow the instructions for the modified quick start and shutdown in the cold Hornet. Exactly, there is also a shutdown sequence to it. And we have frequencies here, radio frequency and Taken probably, but I don't think we will use this right now. So let's give it a start and listen.
Welcome to the Field Flight School for the FA-18 Hornet. The goal of this course is to take you from zero experience all the way up to becoming a competent pilot in the field.
Yeah, from zero to hero.
Each lesson will build on what you learned in all previous lessons, so be sure to take your time and master the skills showcased during each flight, as it will generally be assumed that you know how to do those things on your own once a topic has been covered.
And if you do not forget them.
Before we can do any of that, however, we need to get this Hornet relocated to Vatsiani, which is located near the ground attack training area we've set up for the course. The aircraft is on loan from the Stennis, and they dropped it off here last night, so it's up to us to get it there. Unfortunately, Vatsiani has been closed to traffic for non-essential personnel until this evening. It would be a shame to waste a training day completely, so let's go over the cold start and shutdown procedures for the Hornet. Then you can practice on your own to get familiar with the procedure, so we can get a quick start for our flight tomorrow.
Yeah, so the
you should have gone through the official cold start procedure during your basic flight
shutdown
training,
procedure,
but that
very
process
well made.
is a bit long-winded for my taste. I'm going to show you a
very
down
simple
and
to
dirty
learn.
quick start procedure to get us into the air as quickly as possible. To get started, look down at the panel to your right. Check that both the generator switches are on, then switch the battery to on by right-clicking it once.
So switch the battery on by right-clicking it
It's going
once.
to get pretty loud once we start turning things on, so let's go ahead and close the canopy. On the right side of the cockpit, hold down the canopy switch with the left mouse button until the canopy stops moving, or just press the keybind, Ctrl+C, and it will close automatically.
So as you can see, you can easily, the button is shown to you, it's highlighted in this rectangle, and you can click it with the mouse. Of course, if you do not have a key binded to it, my keys are off also. Some of the essentials I managed to program it yesterday. So let's close the canopy. If he says so, we do it so. This is the open position, and
Once
this is the
canopy
closed
is
position.
fully seated, look to the left-hand panel by your leg and look for the APU switch near the throttle. The auxiliary power unit is a small onboard generator that helps spool up the engines to get them running. Go ahead and switch that on now with a right click, and the APU will begin starting up.
Exactly, so this is the button right here. It's called the APU, and you have to switch it on. It's like an electro motor from your car. It's starting the main engines, actually the main right engine. It will be the first one which will be started. So we start the APU, and you will hear now some noises pulling up and so on. So go on.
We can't really do anything with the engines until the APU is fully powered on and the light next to the switch is green, so we'll take care of a few other things while that spools up. We're going to need oxygen up there in the clouds, so look back to the aft end of the left panel and switch on the O-box with a right click.
Yeah, so the APU has started. As you can see, the blue I don't see well. So this is the green light. It's confirming that the APU is on, and he instructed us to also start the flow of oxygen in the
Moving
cabin.
up to the front of the left panel, verify that the anti-skid switch is set to on, and the carrier bypass switch is set to field. If the carrier bypass switch won't stay on field, ignore it for now. Just to the right of that, set the flap switch to half with a right click.
Now this is a pre-flight setting, which is I have set it for my flaps on my HOTAS right here, which has to be for takeoff, set at the position of half.
Moving aft down the panel, set the lights master and position lights knobs to 100% by holding down the left mouse button over them and dragging the mouse straight up until the knob stops moving. For this flight we won't really need lighting, but it's a good idea to be in the habit of checking them and adjusting them appropriately for mission conditions. The APU should be ready to go about now, so verify that the light next to the switch is green and then toggle the nearby engine crank switch to right by right-clicking it.
Alright, so he already passed to the aircraft lighting, so these two buttons right here, left click and move the mouse, and it will rotate these buttons so the lights will come on. Now we had here, before that, we had here settings for anti-skid, which has to be on if you're on an airfield. Right, this one here now is off. If we would be on a carrier or a super carrier, this should be off. Yeah, on an airfield, this should be on. All right. So also you can turn on the taxi light. Also the launch bar retracted. These are supposed to be exactly like that, right? So now he says that the APU is ready because the green light is on. So that little engine is spooled and is waiting to start the main the main right engine. Now I will decouple my throttle, so the left from the right here, and I will start the cranking, as he says, the cranking the right engine by right clicking this.
Set the right throttle to idle by pressing the appropriate keybind, or Shift plus Home. You would normally wait until the engine RPM was at 30% to do this, but this is a quick start procedure and we need to get going. After the throttle is set to idle, set the left MDI in the upper center panel today by right-clicking it twice.
Alright, so I cranked the right engine here with this button, and now I'm moving the right engine throttle to idle position, which is not moving because it's not set right. Seems like it's not set. Okay, so the problem is that here I adjust controls right here, throttle quadrant. So actually is right shift home and right alt home for the left. So this here you have to set it up on a button. Alright, so right engine to idle position and switching
now
the
set the right MDI today in the same way.
The left MDI, sorry, and the right MDI.
The lower middle display is called the AMPCD, and it has a brightness knob just above the screen. Set that to 100% in the same. Just above and to the left of the AMPCD brightness knob is the HUD brightness knob. Turn it up to 100%.
The HUD brightness, not the HUD. Alright? So I turned the AMPCD, which was here, right, left click and drag, and now for the HUD brightness.
Find the bleed air switch on the right hand panel. This switch is separated into two parts, a push button on the top and a rotating switch on the bottom. Rotate the bottom switch clockwise with right clicks until it comes all the way back around to norm.
Yeah, so this is the air bleed. So this it will be done after the right engine is started. So 4 times. 1, 2,
After the bleed air switch,
3,
find the INS
4.
switch and set it to GND with 2 right clicks.
So this is the INS here and will be set to GND to ground actually. GND is from ground. 2 clicks to the right.
There's not much else we can do until the right engine is finished spooling up, so once the MDI screens are turned on, let's get them set up for takeoff. On the left MDI, press the menu button until the text above it reads SUPT.
SUPT, it's from support, yeah. So here on the AMPCD, I like to take off the map and double click this middle button from the left side of the AMPCD twice. And now I'm setting my left MDI to support by clicking the middle button from here.
Now press the push button for CHKLST to bring up the checklist page.
Yes, as he said, this is the button from checklist.
Now press the menu push button for the right MDI until you're on the SUPT page.
Yeah, now pressing on the right MDI,
and
the
press
middle
the push
button.
button next to FCS. The AMPCD should have a countdown in the bottom third of the display as the navigation system completes its alignment process. If the map overlay has appeared and you can't read the text, press PB3 on the left side of the screen until it disappears. The standard alignment process can take quite a while, so rather than waiting for that, we're going to speed things along by using the previously stored heading from the last flight. Press the STDHDG button to make this happen.
This is
if the flight stick is
STDHDG.
hiding your view, by this point, the right engine should be at about 60% RPM. Let's crank the left engine with the engine crank switch.
Yeah, so before the cranking the left engine, this was the STDHDG button, which is taking the GPS signal to another level. As you can see here, it has to be written 0.5 with a big OK on the right side of it. Alright. Crank button, so you have to click it to crank the left engine.
Set the left throttle to idle by pressing the appropriate keybind, Alt plus Home. We need to clear out the flight control system of any errors to get a clean status update of the system. Near the throttle, find the FCS reset button and hold it down for at least 3 seconds.
Alright, so we have to clear the computer for errors. We have to press this reset button and of course put the left engine into idle position. That's a button for me right now. I just clicked it. So now the left engine is starting. We can see that here. Alright. So till then we press the reset button, hold it for
just to
1,
the
2,
left
3
of that,
seconds.
hold down the T/O trim button for at least 3 seconds. This will automatically configure the aircraft trim for takeoff.
Yes, so this button here, just along this red cap, and is the trim button for the trim. So this is the setting for the plane that enables it to take off with a certain load. So if it's loaded, the plane has to have a specific trim, and if it's not loaded, another trim. Actually, this can be calculated for each kilogram or pounds loaded on the plane, which are the weapons, of course, and the fuel. So press this for 3 seconds to
look back up at the MDI screens and take a look at the FCS page on the right-hand display. Verify takeoff trim has been correctly set by checking for 12s and 30s on the FCS page on the right MDI and confirming that there are values of 12 for the LEF and STAB and values of 30 for the TEF, AIL, and RUD.
yes,
Go back to the lower right switch panel and find the radar switch. The radar won't actually start sending out radiation until we're in the air, so there's no danger to anyone on the ground by turning it on now. Switch the radar to OPR with 2 right clicks.
Yeah, so he's talking about this AMPCD here. The settings for the GPS has come to a value of 0.6 or 5, and it is here the big OK which interests us. When this big OK is here, then it means that the GPS is aligned, and we can set the radar on, so to speak, to the operational position. Yeah, so here the second
The FLIR
one.
is an onboard system that can be connected to an optional targeting pod that provides guidance for various weapon systems on the Hornet. It takes a while to warm up, so let's get in the habit of turning the system on during startup so we don't end up with it being unavailable at some critical moment. The switch is located just forward of the radar switch, so go ahead and toggle it to on with 2 right clicks.
Yeah, so it's about the FLIR. The camera for the weapons, so this is here.
For night flights, you'll need to adjust cockpit lighting as desired, so have a look at the various knobs just to get familiar with them, but we won't need them for this flight. The wings should already be unfolded, but you should always check this before taking off. Once all that's done, go ahead and arm the ejection seat using the lever on the right side.
Alright, so first he's talking about the wings. This lever here is setting the wings. Yeah, the wings are already spread. I don't know if I have set up the button for it. He's talking about arming the ejection seat, which is this lever here. Yeah, and the lights panel, which is here. For this, all these instruments in the cockpit and the cockpit lights, everything is in these buttons here. And you can set it up for the night flight, how is much more convenient for your eyes, especially if you're flying with the VR, right? So let me just verify for the fold lever if I have the buttons set up correctly or if I have it not. Better just verify it right away. Push the button. Let's see. So now it's on fold. Nothing is working, and as you can see, I press the button. The lever is not working on the plane, so I have to adjust this control. So how is this called? Let's see if I search for fold. Wing. Where is the wing fold control? Yeah, I like to put this spread with a hold. So I have to hold the button in certain position in order for my wings to spread. If I'm not holding in, my wing will stop spreading. So that way I do not have to wait if I have to raise my wing before it spreads totally, and I can fold it back immediately. So spread hold. Where is my Orion throttle? Here it is. Spread hold. That will be this position, 71. All right, and for fold it will be this key. Okay, and for wing fold pull and stow control handle, it will be this button. Okay, now I save the profile as always. Okay, yes, all right. Okay, and now let's try to fold it. Come on. Oh, so the lever is not pulled out. As you can see, it has to be pulled out. Let's press it. Now it's pulled out. And it's not folding. Oh, come on. Now it's folding. Right, now I stop the button. See? It's not folding all the way. I stop it. Now I spread it back. I stop it. Now, see, the wing is stopping when I'm not pressing the button. That's important. If I want to change my mind, I do not have to worry about this. So, spread it back. Spread. And push the lever back. And that's all right. So this is it. Now I arm my ejection seat.
In addition to the physical countermeasure system, we're also equipped with an electronic jamming countermeasure. The switch for it is located just to the right of the dispenser. Set the ECM switch to receive with 3 right clicks. Perhaps the most important system is the radar warning receiver, which provides information on other aircraft, and more importantly missiles, which may be targeting us with their radar. There is a small row of difficult-to-see buttons just below the AMPCD display that controls the RWR functions. Find the one labeled ALR 67 power and press it.
Yeah, so this is here, this one. But till I press that. So this is the ECM panel, so to speak. So from here I set up the releasing of my chaff and flares. Yeah, I have to put this on rec. And the dispenser should be on, and here on the right MDI I'm coming back to EW, press the LIE 47, but this has to be pushed also.
Now let's turn on our navigation radios. TACAN is a radio navigation tool that allows you to home in on a specific radio source and use it to get where you're going. It includes several functions that allow you to do some pretty advanced navigation techniques, but we'll cover those in a later lesson. Still, it's a good habit to go ahead and enter the destination TACAN frequency prior to takeoff, if your destination has one, so you don't have to do it later while in the air. On the UFC, press the TCN button so we can set up our TACAN frequency.
Alright, passing on to TACAN frequency, so we have to push this TACAN button, and after that enter the frequency from these buttons here on the HUD. So let's push it, let's see how he helps us. So here actually this was a very rudimentary ECM settings with absolutely no explication, not yet, but probably will come later on this campaign.
Using the numbered push buttons on the UFC, enter the TACAN code for Vatsiani, 22, then verify that there are 2 vertical lines next to the X on the UFC menu. Keep this step in mind because each frequency can be used in both an X or Y mode, so this setting makes a big difference. Once the UFC reads 22X, go ahead and press the ENT key.
Yeah, so after we pressed, or I pressed the TACAN button, yeah, this one here. So press it again. Yeah, we have 2 frequencies X and Y. As you can see, now I select Y. It's selected, shows here. I select X, and he set the value 2222, and then enter.
Although we've entered the information, the TACAN won't be active until we turn it on. Hold down the on OFF button on the UFC until the display reads on.
Yeah, so after I push this button here, on should appear here on this HUD monitor.
The Instrument Landing System, or ILS, is a radio tool that allows us to get precise landing information so we can approach the carrier in less than ideal conditions. The system only works with aircraft carriers, however, so we won't be able to practice with it until we relocate to the Stennis. Still, let's start forming good habits now by setting up the frequency for it. Since Vatsyani has no ILS frequency, we'll just use the frequency for the Stennis. Go ahead and press the ILS button.
Yeah, so till now we have set the TACAN, and now we're going to ILS.
Enter 11 using the number keys on the UFC, then press the ENT button.
The enter button. ENT button is better than the ENT button, because here it's written ENT, right? So he said 11. Yes, 11. 1, 1, 1. Enter.
As with the TACAN, hold down the on OFF button on the UFC until the word on appears in the display. The Hornet contains software that helps you classify targets as friendly or hostile, known as the IFF. It's another system we have to turn on, so press the IFF button to select it.
Yeah.
Hold down the on OFF button on the UFC until XP appears in the display to activate the. Next up is the data link, which is and hold down the on. You would normally set up your radio frequencies at this point, but that is covered in the next lesson, so we'll skip that for now. Just remember to do it when you're on your own. Verify that the NWS appears on the HUD, indicating that your nose wheel steering is on. If it isn't, use the appropriate keybind to activate it. Now we wait for the quality indicator on the AMPCD to read 0.5 with a big OK next to it. If the map overlay has appeared and you can't read the text anymore, simply press PB3 on the left side of the screen until it disappears. The IFA setting for the INS will use GPS rather than onboard systems as the primary means of navigation, which is far more accurate. Once the quality is okay, turn the INS switch from GND to IFA with 2 right clicks.
Yeah, so IFA is here on the most right side of that button. Yeah, so 2 clicks
Verify
for
that
IFA.
the APU has turned off, then release the parking brake by left-clicking on it.
Oh, so this is the parking brake. This also I had it set up for my throttle, but now it's not, so I push it with
And that's it. Though
the
for
mouse.
this initial run-through of the startup procedure we still took quite a bit of time. As you memorize the process and get it down, you'll be able to breeze through the process much faster than the official version. Since we can't get out of here today, we need to go ahead and get the aircraft properly shut down and put away. The process for that is considerably shorter, so let's go ahead and get it done. Set takeoff trim by holding down the T/O trim button for at least 3 seconds. Turn all the lights off by holding down the left mouse button on each one and dragging them down until they stop moving. Then set the parking brake by left-clicking on it and then pulling it back with the mouse wheel. Turn the O-bogs off by left-clicking it. Left-click the INS switch until it's set to off. Left-click the radar switch until it's set to off. Turn the radios off by holding down the left mouse button on each one and pulling it down until the display below it turns off. Turn off the TACAN by pressing the TCN button, then holding the on-off. Open up the canopy by either holding down the right. Disengage the nose wheel steering, NWS, by using the appropriate keybind, then set the flap switch to full by left-clicking on it once.
I didn't know that I have to set the flaps to full. The NWS. I don't have the NWS key. I should search for it. NWS. There is no such key. Oh my god. I have to write nose. Yeah. So I have it on the joystick 8 and 6. I have to try this. Let's try it here. Yeah. Alright. I still have to shut down my engines too. Disengage the nose wheel steering by using the appropriate. Then set flap. Switch to full. Alright. Flap to full.
Turn off the left engine by using the appropriate keybind, R-Alt+End. Then turn off all displays by reversing the procedures we used to turn them on.
Okay, I don't have the turning off the engines key set. So that's actually in the throttle quadrant. And here we have throttle left off. I will set this here. Okay. And throttle right off. Okay. Save the profile, always save the profile. Yes. Okay. Both engines off, MDI left off, right MDI off, the brightness for the HUD off, the brightness for
Turn
the
off the right
AMD
engine by using
off.
the appropriate keybind, R-Shift+End. Now turn off the battery to complete the shutdown by left-clicking on it once. And that completes the shutdown procedure. We're done for now, but you're free to spend some time practicing the startup and shutdown procedures so you can get them down for a quick startup for our flight this evening. You can also access the practice session for this from the lessons menu. Report back here at 2000 so we can get over to Vatsiani by the time they reopen and get the aircraft put away for the night.
Yeah, you can press escape and see the message history. And here you will have everything from the start till the end of the mission. So you can read through and recap and memorize what you forgot. Of course, if you're starting this stuff, you'll have to memorize a little bit. If you're remembering like me, you'll get it right from the second try. That's a sure thing. Let's see what mark did we take from this mission. So press escape and hit the quit button if there is a mark for this mission from the first campaign. So if I press here end mission, I should get some result. As you can see here, I have engine startup, shutdown mission and mission start. Nothing specially shown. I have here blue 01, which confirms one plane, which is my plane. So nothing on tasks, and that's it. Let's see, end mission. So it's a success with a score of 100. That's a very, very good score. So this is how you should do it. Let's go and try the second one, cold start practice. And this will be actually not assisted. And here is how you start your plane by your own. Hit on fly. So as you can see, nothing happens, then nobody speaks to you, nobody talks. So you have to try and start everything on your own. Right, so right generator, left generator, hit the battery. Yeah. Close the canopy. Nice. Of course, this time the buttons are highlighted. That's a very good help for a beginner. And the APU on, and the oxygen box on, and verifying the anti-skid, which will be on. The flaps will be half, and turning on the exterior lights full brightness, and seems like we're going to crank the right engine because the green LED is on, so we have to crank it. Right, verify here spooling up when it reaches 20 or 30%. You also can hear the engines, the APU spooling, right? So let's try it with the right. No, that's the left. Oh, missed it. All right, so shut it down. All right, so that's the right. The right engine. Probably we will not get the score for this mistake. All right, left MDI on, right MDI on. AMPCD, full brightness also on the HUD. Yeah.
Flight control.
And bleeding the air, 4 clicks to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hitting the INS switch to the ground position. And I like to take this off for me. Yeah, okay, left MDI to the checklist position and right MDI to the FCS position. Taking the joystick off and hitting the STD HTG button. Let's see. Yeah, and the settings for the GPS has started to come down. Next, we can crank the left engine with the appropriate button. Yeah, just nailed it this time. And of course resetting the computer 3 seconds and setting the trim for takeoff 3 seconds. Right? After we did this, we can set the radar to operational position. The countdown is still working here. 2 clicks to the right, starting the FLIR, 2 clicks. And of course checking the wings. Wings are spread and lever is locked. Let's try to unlock it just for testing. Unlocked, locked. All right, I don't mess with the lighting right now. I arm my chair, and after arming the chair, setting the ECM to receive position, and of course the ALR67. The TACAN button, actually it was 22 as I remember. Enter, X is confirmed, starting it. ILS after TACAN, which was 11, enter on. And after that IFF on, and after the IFF the on. This has to be done twice. Right. What else? Let's check the GPS 0.5, it'll be okay. Then we set the INS to the AFA position. So this was the starting procedure. Of course, the parking brake off. And again, now startup is complete. We have a confirmation. We have to start the shutdown procedure. So trim off, lights off. All right. The brake, parking brake. All right. After that, the oxygen shut down. After that, with the radar panel. So the INS to position off, radar to position off, radio off, the first one and the second one. TACAN off. Open the canopy. Come on, what's wrong? No, that's interesting. canopy open, flaps to full position, left MDI shut down as the right MDI, and the HOD off and the AMPCD off. Of course, battery the last one, and that was the shutdown complete procedure. So this is the second one. Let's see what's the score. Actually, I missed the button for the right engine idle and left position. Let's see if we got that right. So mission end, as you can see, engine start up, end the mission, and we have success. So even if I got it wrong at the start, if in the final setting it was right, it was okay.